And there they were, free settlers driving their drays laden with goods, trundling down precarious Coxs Pass. It was a bone-rattling, terrifying experience. Logs were tied behind the carts to steady their progress, giving the drivers an ounce of reassurance on the hair-raising descent. Over days, the logs used to stabilise descending carts accumulated below the rocky, troublesome area, often blocking the road and causing even more headaches. Not for long, though, as parties of convicts were put to work, clearing the logs to be used time and time again. Ascending carts went through a different process, a laborious one at that. Iron rings fixed to boulders anchored ropes and pulleys, while bullocks driven below hauled the carts upward, metre by grinding metre. This was the first road linking the Mount York escarpment with the fertile Vale of Clwyd, today's Hartley Valley. Opened in December 1814, just 26 years after a British colony was declared on its land, settlers and drays endured the steep grade of Cox's Pass for nearly 9 difficult years. Explorer William Lawson, who'd become Commandant of Bathurst in 1819, was one of a bunch of bureaucrats at the time that wanted to find a solution. An alternative to Cox's Pass, and one that had an easier grade. Being the surveyor extraordinaire he was, one of Lawson's responsibilities was to oversee maintenance of the Western Road. He managed numerous upgrades, improvements and deviations to Cox's Road, but an alternative descent into the Vale of Clwyd was up there with his priorities. Known as Old Ironbark for his endurance, Lawson began searching for a gentler descent into the valley. About 2 kilometres east of Mount York he found it, an area known as Long Alley. The line was shorter and easier, but it would demand serious labour. Thanks to a nearby stockade or temporary camp, Lawson had a team of convicts to get cracking on this new line of road in 1822. The new route cut along the western slope of what is now Kerosene Creek Valley. Rock was cut from the mountainside with embankments built below to support the formation. Unlike Cox's Pass, Lawson's road was wide, in places up to 9 metres, with passing bays on corners so drays could negotiate the climb without deadlock. On the initial descent, the first feature you notice is a hand-cut drainage channel. Some beautiful work by those hard-working convicts. Parts of this upper section was resurfaced in 1991, though only fragments remain. Cement bags and a concrete ford now help slow erosion and maintain runoff from the slope above. Initials are etched into nearby rock, old, weathered marks that are still quite legible. Could they belong to the road builders, or are they simply tags from old road users? Something a little more recent is this one. Higher up, a long, carved rectangle filled with angled slashes hints at some forgotten purpose. Further down, the track becomes steeper and rougher in its descent. A lush fern gully with towering trees presents itself before the track arcs around past the remnants of a quarry. This quarry was used to produce stone for an impressive retaining wall supporting the road on the right, complete with a culvert that's now home for some kind of animal. During construction, Lawson made an unexpected discovery. In September 1822, he reported to the Colonial Secretary that coal had been found nearby. The seam was actually kerosene shale, or torbanite. Another account credits its discovery 2 years later to French surgeon and naturalist William Lawson. Whatever the origin, mining began and continued nearby for decades. When completed, Lawson's Long Alley featured extensive dry stone walls and drainage systems. For the next 5 years, it became the main descent into the valley, replacing Cox's Pass and allowing stock quicker access to water and pasture. In 1828, another deviation was begun along the ridge between Lawson's Long Alley and Cox's Pass, under Major Edmund Lockyer, surveyor of roads and bridges. It was deemed more suitable with its gentler grade, though construction was abandoned a year later due to a landslide. Attention then shifted to a new descent at Mount Victoria, Mitchell's Pass. Convict labour was transferred from Lockyer's abandoned road to this new pass on Mount Victoria, one that's still in use today, though mostly modified. Lawson's Long Alley was finally closed in 1932. Mitchell's new road bypassed Mount York entirely, creating a more direct line to Bathurst. Today the old road survives as a walking track. The same car park can be used where Mount York Road meets Berghofer's Drive. Most remaining heritage features, drains, stonework and carved markings, lie along the southern section. Not much to see at the bottom when walking alongside into what's now private property. It's okay to walk there, just stick to the path and abide by the signage. The northern end becomes Walton's Road, curving past the site of the old 1879 Comet Inn, before rejoining Cox's Road near historic Collett's Inn. The return climb can be demanding, especially if you're like me and choose a humid summer's day to walk.
Bloody hell, whose idea was this?
Old guides and newspaper articles from as early as the 1890s mention a place called Hidiana's Glen, somewhere near the upper section, though its exact location is unknown. Perhaps it was one of the shaded fern-filled hollows beside the track, where the rock overhangs cool the air and the bush grows thick. Lawson's Long Alley is an interesting place to explore, its stonework weathered, its purpose long past. But every drain, wall and cutting speaks of the blood and sweat of those convicts that built it. Not just a road, but a reminder that the landscape we travel so easily now was once earned the hard way.